baby, I'm just trying to chill with you. These summer vibes got me in the mood. Sipping Merlot got me feeling smooth. Baby, I'm trying to get close.
I haven't been out of bed this early for a while. I'm trying to get out of the door by 8, but I still have to finish this coffee. And make some daytime pictures with the 14mm, which is the lens that I'm using right now. Yeah, just see what early morning brings for me and if I can take some nice pictures. So. Alright, finished. Let's go outside. That's the bell that it's 8 o'clock. I'm heading out. Let's go shoot some pictures. Alright, so that's what it feels like to get up at 8 or get out at 8. It's really been a while. But weather is quite nice. Let's see if I can use this 14mm to make some nice pictures. Alright, let's go. Okay, so I actually wanted to make pictures of this church, but it's under construction. This is one of the things I thought would be kind of most interesting to take photos of, but I guess another time. Okay, so I must admit that taking pictures in the daytime with the 14mm is quite a lot more challenging. You really need to try and find a good composition, and I mean, I find it much easier during the night. I think the pictures are much more interesting, quicker, I guess, and I don't know, we'll keep going. Okay, so right now I'm running into the problem where wherever I go, my shadow is following me right into the pictures, so I'm gonna have to change my angles, I think, to make sure that there's no shadows in each of my pictures. Just trying to come up with some new shots because there's not too many interesting places right here for me to take pictures of, I think. Alright, took a selfie with these cows. See you later. Have a good day. They're doing their goodbye dance for me, I think. Just got back home. I don't know, got some interesting pictures. I think I always expect a lot when I go out. Like, I want to make a lot of pictures and I want to come back with a lot of good pictures. But sometimes you just need one good shot, I guess. Let's see if we got it. Alright, so back to the studio, or well, I don't know if you can call this a studio, but anyways, so this whole video has been taken with the 14mm f1.8, which is the newest lens that I bought. This is actually being shot at the crop mode. Oh yeah, so I just wanted to show you, so this is what my 14mm would look like in the studio, and obviously it's not ideal for the studio because you have all this stuff around which is quite, you know, cluttered and stuff like that. But if I press this button, basically this is what you're left with, and this is the 21mm field of view, and that makes this lens actually pretty versatile. I think it's not just a 14, but if you are working in a controlled environment where you don't need filters, you can just use crop mode and you have a extreme wide angle if you want it, and you have a 21mm if you need it. So pretty good, I think. So yeah, I went out, made some pictures, and I'm just gonna go through them casually today. First picture I took, or one of the first pictures that I took, is of this metal stair which is on the side of the river. This is like a fishing spot, I think. And yeah, just like the colors of this image and also the straight lines that you have from the horizon. You see the reflection in the water. So yeah, I kind of like this one. Pretty basic picture, but I think it still looks pretty good. And the nice thing about this lens is that if you get your composition right, the lines are actually very straight, even though it's a very extreme wide angle lens. Moving on to the second picture that I took. So yeah, I discussed this as well in my video earlier, or I mentioned it, that there's this little church that I wanted to take a picture of. And well, I mean, it was being blocked by construction, and this picture I still managed to take. And obviously you don't really see that it is a church, but I just wanted to make a picture of the church while it was in construction. And this is what I came up with, a pretty interesting composition. I think I took it from underneath, of course. And again, look at the lines, it looks pretty straight, even though it is a very, very wide angle lens with what you would expect, distortion, but I don't really see a lot in this picture. Next picture is picture number 3 for me. So this is actually the church from the other side, which I wanted to take from the back side, but had to settle for this one. Yeah, kind of like this composition, to be honest. There's a lot going on. You don't have a lot of sky, still a little bit of blue sky left, but you have the church on the right hand side, and you have just the standard houses on the left there with the tree on the left hand side as well. Picture is looking very sharp, I think, for the most part. It's a shame that this door is there, which is from the construction as well, I guess, but not bad. I kind of like this picture, even though I would have liked to have taken the picture from the other side, which looks a little bit more historic. But next picture is of this road, which is at the edge of our town. And that's actually just 2 roads running into each other, and because of this wide angle lens I managed to get both roads into the same frame, which normally you would never get, but with the 14 I can just about manage that. Sky could have been a little bit more dramatic if you had maybe a rainy day or something like that. Maybe not rainy, but you know, when there's more contrast in the clouds, that would have been better. This is the kind of shot you can only do with either taking panorama shots or just an extreme wide angle. So next picture is pretty interesting one, I think. I was just walking across this patch of land, or whatever you want to call it, and they have these sheep in there, and I managed to get up pretty close. This one was very interested in the camera, or in me, I don't know, but I wasn't camera shy at all, and as soon as I put the camera over the fence, basically, it just came at me and was just looking straight at the camera, and I managed to grab this shot, which I really like, to be honest. Looks pretty good for an ultra wide. Look at the distortion. There's not a lot, obviously a little bit, but pretty impressive. Next picture is of the same location, obviously, but this time it's sibling joined as well. And I prefer this shot even more, I think, because you can see the dad basically behind them, and he was being a little bit protective. I could see that it, after a while, didn't like me being there, so I left. But this picture actually grabs more of a story, I guess, because you can see the mom kind of looking like, okay, what's this guy doing? The dad being a little bit protective as well in the back, and yeah, I like these 2 shots. Pretty nice, I think. Next shot is of some other animals, which I saw just as I was walking away from the sheep. But yeah, these cows were also running around. As soon as I came closer, they all came flocking towards me as well, and I managed to grab this shot. I took a selfie with these cows as well. Moving on to what is my favorite picture of the day, and this is what I mean with, sometimes I expect to come back with a lot of pictures, but in this case, even if I had just had this shot, I would have probably been pretty happy. But I really like how simple it is, and I like how the 3 cows are simply in the middle of the frame, and basically your focus goes instantly to the cows. And I think, to be honest, if I maybe work on this a little bit, this would be something that someone can put on their wall, I think. I like that it's just 3 cows walking along, and that it's a very centered image in this case. So I don't know, what do you think? Do you think this could be on someone's wall, or am I just being delusional here? What do you think about this picture? Let me know. Next one is, just as I was at the same location as the previous picture, I turned around and there's this water tower, which you might have seen in my previous pictures. And I mean, obviously the 14mm can be a very good landscape lens. I mean, you can grab a lot into one frame, which is why I like these extreme wide angle lenses. Next picture is, I think this is the last picture that I'm going to show you. This is actually of our house, which is a very old house, and there's these little windows which are obviously in need of some work, but I kind of like the old feeling of this little window. Thought it was an interesting frame. Obviously I like symmetry and I like you know, a little bit centered image for a lot of my shots, so yeah, it's just my style, I think. It's all I got from the little stroll that I had earlier. Getting up earlier in the morning to take some photos, I think it's a pretty good thing to do, and I'll try and do them more often, because obviously when you're just sleeping in on your day off, you're kind of wasting part of your day, and it was nice to get up early, get out, and actually be a little bit productive before 10 a.m. in the morning. That was it for my video this week. Let me know what you think about the images that are coming out of my 14mm. If you have any ideas of other videos that you want me to do, also let me know in the comments, because obviously I'm stuck in this little boring town and I'm always trying to come up with ideas for my videos. But if you have anything that you would like to see, just let me know, and perhaps I will do one of those videos in the future. So yeah, that was it for this week. I will see you in the next one.